Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog Podcast. Yes, it's episode 6 of the Web of Fear. And you know what? It's been a magnificent ride. It's just been lovely. It's taken me right back to being a kid. Not a kid watching Doctor Who, more of a kid buying the videos, the VHS, of stories I'd never seen, like working my way through the Pertwees, going, oh, this is fantastic. Well, that's what this has been. This has been just another great trip, and it's been a lot like watching a VHS because there's been no, info text and no commentaries over the top. So what have we got in episode 6? Well, obviously we've got a payoff for all the storylines, and we get to find out who is the big traitor and who's working for the Great Intelligence, and sadly, it's Staff Sergeant. Well, that's a bit sad, because he was just great. Now, he could have a whole Mike Yates thing going on, where he ended up working back for UNIT, except of course he ends up as a charred relic. There's really glorious moments in this. Yeah, I know that Second Doctor gets his recorder out, but, you can't blame the man for getting his props out. The Yetis, well, I can live with them. Their guns are a bit, they don't look great on an HD TV, but they probably look brilliant on something 16 inches across. Or was it 12? Probably 12. The Brigadier is I know he's not the Brigadier, I know he's Colonel Lethbridge Stewart, but he's brilliant in this. In fact, all of the performances are. You think the journalist is the traitor? He's not, he's just gone mad. Everything just pays off. There's the business with the big glass pyramid, or the small glass pyramid. Not quite sure what was going on there. They were going to drain the Doctor, and the Doctor had rewired it so he'd drain the Great Intelligence into him, which would probably result in some sort of possession. Knowing Doctor Who, you'd end up with one actor playing two parts, but as that's happened 6 weeks earlier in a different story, probably not the way to go. Evans, yeah, bit of a joke character, but you know what? Cowards who've ended up being drivers, well, that's fine. It's really not a problem. He lives the performance, he doesn't come out of character. His character's that of an idiot, but he doesn't come out of it, and that's fine. So yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic trip. Thank you for joining me. I've really enjoyed this story. I've really enjoyed Troughton. To be honest, I've enjoyed Troughton more here than I have in other places where you're supposed to enjoy him a lot more. Perhaps this is better than Tomb of the Cybermen. It's a story that's been returned to us after all. I would say more, but to be honest, there's not that much more to say. Victoria, not needed for the plot, not seen in the plot, which is a shame. I'm sure they could have found something more for her to do. The Traverses, yeah, they were great. To be honest, everyone was great. Even the Yeti looked fantastic, with their big flap covering their ball. So yes, all in all, a great story. For me, better than Enemy of the World. Something you should all sit down and watch. And for those of you who downloaded it, watched The Enemy of the World and thought, I'll watch the other thing, I'll get around to it. Well, watch it now. And I know some of you are on your way to Gallifrey, and you've downloaded it to your iPads and your iPhones and your tablets and your laptops, and you've got the little DVDs scrolled away to watch. Well, in that case, if you've watched it and listened to this, thank you. But do it now. Don't put it off. Don't think I'll get round to it. Things could change. You may never get to see it. And then what would be the point of Phil Morris's work? So until next time, when I'm starting again with the big finishes, yes, I know I did number 1. Well, I've decided rather than cover the entirety of Big Finish, let's take a chunk I can handle. A big chunk, I'll grant you. Because we've got from now till August, or at least probably September, could be October. We've got now till Capaldi comes back to cover. DVDs are going to be thin on the ground, so it's me, you and Big Finish. We're going to do the first 50. Why? Because they're the ones Big Finish keep putting on sale. They're old. They're nearly 10 years old, so I'm going to work my way through. And, like a good little person, I've been making notes left, right and centre. So join me next time when we'll be talking about Big Finish number 2, Phantasmagoria, which is a Turlough and Fifth Doctor story. So until next time, be seeing you. You've been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who is the property of the BBC and no infringement is intended. To contact the show or to find out more about Whostrology and my other works, click on the links on the Tin Dog Podcast homepage. Why not follow Blue Box Messiah, all one word, on Twitter to keep up to date with tour dates of my forthcoming Doctor Who comedy play. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.